Alright y'all, we're going to be getting ready to install the Corksport boost gauge and the Corksport oil pressure gauge. I just did an oil change on the car, so I'm not going to be doing the pressure. I'm going to be running it, but on the next oil change, I'll show you all how to actually connect it, because we need to put a sandwich plate in between the oil filter and then the actual oil filter housing. So we'll go ahead and do that, but look at these gauges. Came out looking amazing. These are the Corksport gauges. Like I stated, this is oil pressure. And then we've got this one here, which is the good old spoolie boy gauge. Sounds gonna look pretty nice. So it's pretty cool because you can set them up for daytime and nighttime. So daytime, they're gonna be white. Nighttime, they'll be red. Let's go ahead and open up the box, see what we got inside of here. All right, so this one's gonna be for the boost gauge. Of course, they send us some hose. Not too big of hose, so I think I do have spare hose actually that I'll be using that instead of this. They also gave us the boost sensor. So this is gonna be mounted somewhere in the engine bay, and then the hose will be ran from here directly into the car. This one's a pretty cool one because this one's actually gonna be just a pigtail. Plug one end into one of the gauges, the other end into the other gauge, and you only have to run wiring for one. So makes it pretty convenient. Of course, we have a mounting solution, but we're not going to be going with this because we have the gauge pod for the vent. This one is going to look sick. I think I've showed it to you guys before. Next up, this is going to be your inline filter. So this will go in between the blow-off valve and the sensor. Make sure that we have the T. So the T is going to be used to split the line. And then we also have this line here. So this line here is going to go into that sandwich plate once again. And then you plug in this piece, which then in turn runs to the gauge, and it'll give you your pressure. Now, I'm not sure where I'm going to be going to the car yet. I also did get some 1/2-inch sleeving, just so that way we could run the wires through the firewall. So we'll go ahead and get to going. All right, y'all. So I started taking apart the dashboard. I was only able to get this side down like this because on this side it's held in with like a clip right here and a clip right here. So you need to take off this whole panel in order to get this piece off. So I'm not doing any braking. Definitely don't want to do that. But we've already started to go ahead and take everything apart. So if you can see here, I got the defroster off, and then I've also got the pillar off. Also be careful right here because definitely don't want to be damaging that airbag or having it go off. So always make sure that there's no power to the car. I wasn't able to find like a good enough spot where I'm gonna be able to like drill in. The drill won't fit right here. So I was seeing that if you see like right on the side there, I can potentially get the drill in, make a drill hole like right here, and then go in the side. But like I stated, it's gonna be a tight one in there. And then we also have to drill. But like I said, where are we drilling from? I have no idea. I don't want to f shit up. So that's what we're trying to figure out right now. First things first though, trying to figure out how we're gonna go in and run these gauges. That's gonna be the first order of business, and then move on to the next step though. So thanks for the patience, y'all. All right, y'all, so I got the hole drilled for the wires to run through into the vents. So everything is looking real good there. All right, so if y'all can see that hole right there, that's where we're gonna be going out through. Right below the rubber grommet, right next to the clutch, that's where we're gonna be drilling. So let's see if we can get through it. Wish me luck, y'all.
6 months later.
Got the wires ran through. I fed them through the dash all the way up above. Came out that hole that I made right there. Remember the hole I made? Try to get a better glimpse of that. They all got fed through right there. We have all of the 3 lines running. Oil pressure, boost, as well as power. I got those lines ran. What I'm going to be doing is we'll be grounding off the black wire. One of these goes to hazards. One of these is going to be going to the cigarette lighter. Red is the one that does that. So ground, red, and then orange right here. So we sent it up through. Let me show you what it looks like in the engine bay. So these are kind of custom, right? So we have one coming out of that hole right there. And then we have another one coming out of that hole right there. Now, don't ask me how I got them through. Just know that it was a biatch. Then I got some insulator. So that's going through the wire, going to the front. And then I just have it right here for now until I can plug it into the sandwich plate. So I'll go ahead and bring you all along for the installation of the gauges, just putting them in, plugging them all up. I just wanted to make this one a short one, showing where I ran the gauges through, because I know it's not always the easiest thing to understand. So ran the gauges, ran all the wires, and then I already plugged in the boost sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and tee off from the blow-off valve. That's gonna go ahead and go into this right here. That'll go into this part. We'll tee off from over there, and then we'll be all set to go. Then we just need to put the battery, intake, everything back on, run the gauges. But we're just about there, y'all. All right, y'all, for the gauges, we're using a fuse tap. I got those off Amazon. So Corksport says to use a 5 amp fuse. So that's exactly what we're gonna be using there. Now, I did run that one to, if you can see here, the third one in is the hazards. Second one is gonna be going into the cigar lighter, which is this one right here. I already have the remote coming in for the amp. So I think I'm just gonna fuse in the amp and the other one, and then this one into the same. So the hazard is the constant, and then this one will just be a 12 volt, which is the cigarette lighter. All right, so we've got all of our terminals coming out here. Now what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna go ahead and run these. All right, so I know for sure that this one is gonna be the oil pressure sensor. This one right here is gonna be, oh yeah, this is gonna be the power. This is gonna be the boost gauge, pressure gauge. And what I'll go ahead and do now is we're gonna go inside and we'll set up everything as far as the little cluster is concerned. And we'll plug in the daisy chains and we're almost there. All right, y'all, I got the dash back into place. So I'm just waiting for another one of those fuse taps right there, so that way we could plug into this wire. But as far as the gauges, just about ran. So like we stated, we're gonna have the boost gauge as well as the oil pressure gauge. Once again, I drilled through the firewall. You can't see anymore because the car is pretty much put together now. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna at least test it to see if the gauges are working. So let's go ahead and plug in the ECU and test the gauges. All right, y'all, boost gauges are on. Turbo gauge, oil pressure gauge. This isn't blinking because it's not plugged in. That's the only thing that it's letting me know. That's very sweet, dog. All right, so boost gauges are done. Now, all I'll have to do here is run a line from here, tee off on the blow-off valve. Still need to install the blow-off valve. We're gonna go ahead and get that done. That's gonna do it for our boost gauge install. Let me know what y'all think. I think they came out pretty dope. Like I stated, the reason this one's blinking is just because it's not plugged in yet, but it will be. So next one up is that one, and we're all set to go. All right, y'all, that's gonna do it for the oil pressure gauge and the boost gauge installation. I hope you found that helpful in regards to whatever you got going on with your Mazda Speed 3. Go ahead and smash the subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on post notifications so that way you know when the next banger's coming out. Thank you all for the love and support. Can't wait to actually get this beast down on the floor, but you'll be seeing it in the next few videos here coming soon. We'll see you on the next one, Speed Fam. Stay blessed, stay well. Have a great week, Speed Fam.